Well, now we're on section 9.1, and we're talking about Euler's method, and that's a method for approximating y values, and it takes the form y sub n plus 1 equals y sub n plus f of x sub n y sub n times dx. Notice this is just the point-slope form of the line again, because this represents, in other words, f of x sub n y sub n represents the slope y prime sub n. So it's the point-slope form of the line. Now, we have an ordered pair here, and that's x sub aught, y sub aught, our initial values, equals 2, negative 1. And so now let's make a little table of values. And what we're going to have is n, and x sub n, y sub n, and y sub n plus 1. And I'll let x be, or n be 0, 1, 2, and 3. And so x sub 0 is 2, y sub 0 is negative 1. X sub, when we go up, let n be 1 more, we're going to, our new x value will be 2.5. Going up 1 more, that change in x is always 0.5, would be 3.0, and then 3.5. What we have to determine are these subsequent y values. So to do that, we're going to use a calculator. And we're going to program that into our calculator. And so I'll go to y equals, graph y equals, and I've already entered it in. Now what you notice here are these x's. Well, why aren't there y's there? Well, here's why there are not y's there, because when you select the variable, your only option is x. So we have to substitute on the calculator this x. It represents y. Well, how about, what do we do about the x here? Well, the x there, we're going to have to enter that in every time we do a calculation, make a change of x. So we physically have to enter that change in, and then we'll enter in our y value, but it'll be labeled in this equation as x. So let's go ahead and do that. So I've got it set up for the first set of values, where x is 2, and I'll go to table first, enter the value I want, and my y value is negative 1, so I'll put in a negative 1, and I get my next y value then will be, according to this formula, will be negative 0.25. So now I know the y sub 1 is going to be negative 0.25. Now we need the next y value, so we'll go back to our equation. I'll hit graph, and that'll give me the equation. The only thing I have to change is this x value here, and that's going to be 2.5, so I'll put a 5 there. And we'll do it all over again. I'll go to table, and now I'll enter in negative 0.25 and enter, and we'll get the subsequent y value, which is 0.3. Now I'll put a 0.3 here, and we'll go back to our equation, and now we'll replace 2.5 because the new x coordinate is 3.0, so I'll put 3.0, and we'll go to table, and for the y value we're going to enter 0.3, and when we do that we get a 0.75. So that says when the x coordinate is 3.5, the y coordinate will be approximately 0.75.